Go.
Okay, so in the bag of holding, there is a common set of clothes, a costume set of clothes, a fine set of clothes, a traveler set of clothes, and a set of robes. Just like regular old fucking robes, I guess. But, so when Jackal died and it was like, who needs to present something for this ritual? No one else had anything. I was gonna have Cosmi dump down this 21 pounds of clothes from the bag of holding and be like, come get your shit! And then left it at that. And maybe that would have rolled like some sort of persuasion or something for him.
Oh, man.
Where is it, guys?
It's over here!
Oh, okay, you already got it.
Yeah, I grabbed it.
I love that bitterness.
You get your shit. I don't know why people want... over there!
Why is it over there?
Because we were eating.
Alright.
But yeah, 21 pounds of clothing in the bag of holding that can only hold 500 pounds of nonsense. And you fill up 21 pounds of it with clothing.
Nice clothing. Most of it.
Just lift one more page over. There you
Okay.
go.
Alright,
It's even updated with the
only lightly bled.
which is
Wow.
funny because you got armor now that you literally don't need any of that, but you want to hold on to it just in case.
That's right. I've seen just enough critical roll to know that spare robes in the bag of holding comes in clutch.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
You have that equipped, so you don't need that anymore. So the group notes is up to date for bag of holding. That's going to be page 7 out of 50. That's it.
The sending stone was Alhu wanted to keep the sending stone.
Mm-hmm.
Then the claw went to Jackal.
Mm-hmm.
Everything should have been thrown away.
Lessity wanted the vial that makes you more, the succubi vial.
She wanted the perfume.
Mm-hmm.
Or the malevolent virtue?
Yep.
Yeah. She wanted that, and we were in the middle of convincing her not to.
And she also wanted the robe of, the,
Robe of Rot.
robe of rot with the poison damage.
To be clear once again, as Jackal described it, he just wants this thing as a trophy. It doesn't
Souvenir!
need to be on display. He just wants it as a souvenir. And something I haven't said in character yet, but at least I don't think so.
Nope.
Like, he wants to bring it to... Is that a nope that's to not continue, or a nope I haven't said?
Nope, you have not said it.
Okay. He wants to bring it to Darman to get another look, because Darman's an expert on spooky shit, and he knows it's been identified, but I feel like he heard somewhere that, like, Darman can go a step beyond that. Or maybe he or his sister just might know something.
Like, he might actually know the lore.
Yeah.
There is a spell that helps with that.
Legend lore.
It's a legend. It's a level 5, which none of y'all have access to yet, but,
But he might.
yeah.
And it's very expensive.
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How expensive?
It's about 900 gold worth of supplies.
Okay.
It's, I think, off the top of my head, it's 500 gold worth of fine incense that is burned for the ritual. And then you have 450 worth of ivory that is not consumed, but the incense is.
I happen to have a line of credit with Darman, so I think that's taken care of.
He's been paying you back in slow increments.
Yeah, but...
Fine. Whittle that off the top.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, it's not that expensive.
What? I thought it was.
It's 250 gold of incense, which it consumes, and 4 ivory strips, at least 50 each. So 200 gold worth of ivory.
Oh, 250 and 2. Okay. So yeah.
So it's
roughly
450
500.
total.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Be at least 500 gold.
It's mechanically speaking too. I'm in my head. He only has access to 2 level 5 spells. So, given the circumstances, you'll have to be very careful on how you spend that, and you might want to tip him.
Yeah.
How much you got in party funds, Cosmo?
It'll come out of no. It's Jackal's project. It'll come out of his pocket.
Fucking
Or
children!
Credit.
20,000 that he owes you.
Yeah, basically.
Everything's fine.
This is why we don't have kids. They're children?
I'd imagine Jackal would probably let him like overcharge for if he's just taking it off credit. It's not ending up in his pocket.
He's such a good guy.
Well, I mean, technically, he already paid you. It's just there's a hold, a lien on his stuff. So you're already in the queue to get paid,
Yes.
but everyone else has to get paid first.
No. So if I let him say like, "Hey, don't worry about 800 of that" or some shit, then
Well, I'm saying I don't know if he has the power to do that at this point. Like, if it's in the bank's hands as to how much money you're getting or not, versus his.
that's right. We will see when we converse.
See how much Ryek is of an asshole. That's a story for another time.
At this point, if I'm going to get money, I'm not going to be like, yeah, so my boy Darman, because I know that history now, as opposed to the first time I brought it up. Jackal's got a little bit of a brag in him. So,
A little bit.
just a little bit. Just a little
No.
Happen to have friends in high places, and they all happen to be enemies with each other.
bit. Basically.
I mean, that is aristocracy in big cities to a T, though, because all of it's major politics.
You're not wrong.
I know I'm not. I've read a lot of Brandon Sanderson and Mistborn. That's where a lot of this is coming from.
I've actually got my foot in the door in Mistborn now.
In what?
Mistborn.
Mistborn!
Just the first couple chapters, but Balloon has been
Such
like
You know what the
on
best
me, like,
part?
you need to read it. I'm like, it's good. I just busy.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, Tyler, the best part about that series is that there's not a dull chapter. Like, every chapter is actually interesting.
Yeah,
And you can put it
that's true.
down
That's
for
true
like
to my
3
experience so far.
months, and then you can still get back into it.
I have never heard of it before.
Have you not?
Yeah, it's like Nara's favorite series.
I'll let you borrow it. If you got the time.
I don't know. Is it like a novel?
It's a
Yes. It's a very thick book.
So a novel?
Yep.
So
Now,
good.
like usually novels take me like months and months and months to read because
So, audiobook is what we're looking like.
You up here.
Coffee. Here's the bad boy. It was really cute while you were gone. You heard Tyler talking, and he was looking around for a friend.
Aw. What a good boy.
What a sweet, affectionate child it is.
Yeah.
It's just Gaze. He's fat. He eats string.
You know he's fat. He's fat. Come on.
Chow down. I still feel leaky. Do you
I'm
feel
on whole wheat. Well, alright.
Recording day.
Did we ever figure out what the spell was on the wall at Yarkundral?
The spell?
Yeah.
Which spell?
There was, in the notes I have written that when Alhu used comprehend languages to read the stuff on the wall in the mountain path, it was abyssal and it seemed to be an incomplete spell. And then it went on into telling and like showing the history of the war, the Dalkir War.
No, you guys did not.
Okay.
And it wasn't technically a spell. What I had told Alhu at the time was it looked like it was something that was like ritualistic rune placement, not necessarily a spell on its own right. So something that
Okay.
could have been leading to a bigger thing, but it just stopped. And the carvings looked very old.
Okay. And then the eyes that were staring at Jackal before we went to bed, that was Vern, right?
Yep.
Huh?
He
Oh,
sees
and-
you when you're sleeping.
Oh, when we went to sleep in.
The forest.
Okay. I was
You
about
know-
to say,
you
did
know
I miss
how-
something in my last text if you know?
No. No, this happened a year ago.
Okay, that's fair.
Happened a year ago.
So I'm writing down spark notes for shit I need to go over with certain people.
Yep.
But I'm probably gonna look at this middle of the conversation and go, hold up, I can't fucking read my own handwriting.
Oh, story of my
It's
life.
encrypted.
I also figured out how to record, so I can put this up on YouTube too.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, just it's gonna be a lot of editing out all the crazy notes.
I could probably put my face on screen.
I don't like video with Discord because it drives down my CPU.
Okay, that's fair.
The last thing I want is bad processor quality.
No, that's good.
I
Otherwise,
don't
I
know
would.
why, but I heard last thing I want is bad pasta.
See,
Okay.
processor.
Mood?
Nobody-
Honestly.
nobody-
What a
Nobody likes
mood.
bad pasta. If anyone tells you they're fine with bad pasta, they've been kidnapped, help them.
Right?
That's gonna be a code. Anytime you're in trouble, instead of Jenga, it's bad pasta.
Bad pasta.
What?
That's gonna be our Jenga.
Yep.
Oh, you know, we're just sitting at the bar and we're talking to this one person, and oh, you know, the other day I had some bad pasta, and you know, I just really felt bad in my stomach.
Dagger, dagger, dagger. Bad pasta. Boom, boom, boom. Jackal on the roof. You rang! I'm looking at my sweater, dude.
Great.
I still think one of my favorite moments in this campaign was making Vern's hat.
That was honestly the greatest thing, and I'm honestly sad that we didn't record that session.
I was honestly getting kind of deep with that fucking lemur dude at that point. Like,
Right?
just distracting him. I'm like, okay, let's actually talk about this. Because no one's going to believe I'm serious about this shit while I'm talking about fucking lemur. Let's go. Let's unpack this.
Let's unpack.
Talking to a dude with zero predisposition on anything we're talking about. It's like a blank fucking slate.
Yeah, that's what made it so wholesome.
It did. Like, I caught on to that, like, oh, nice.
And then you run into Tybrin, who's just like, what if there's those people around? What do you mean, those people?
What do you mean, you people?
That's what I think his name was. I have to look at my notes again. The half-elf from House Madani, who gave you a bad rep. It's really funny because the persuasion check to give you more time with Lilith was literally 20. And you guys rolled like a 19.
Huh.
So he thought about it, and then he thought against it. It was an unsafe circumstances, so he hauled her ass up to rope. Like, I'm gonna think about it. 2 seconds pass. I thought about it. Bye.
This is a big decision. I'll have to think about it. I'll do it.
Essentially.
Excuse me.
He's gonna be a fun character, though.
I will be right back.
Yeah.
I'll be left front.
We love you, Casey! It doesn't matter, she's gonna hear us in like a few minutes anyways.
Yeah.
but still.
One of these days I'm going to start making potions again.
Yeah. About that.
I can make some pretty cool potions.
I know. You just need to do it in the downtime.
Exactly. I need like a full day.
Wow. Okay.
I can make an elixir of health now.
That's for the. It's essentially a Panakia, right?
Saloon will be hopping on.
I have no idea what it does.
I think it was I think it was a Panakia. Because that's the one that's really expensive.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me what they can do. It just says it's a rare potion. Its approximate value is 400 gold.
Yep. Sounds like it.
And it takes 16 days, a 6th level character, and a 2nd level spell slot to make.
Yep. Sounds like it. Yep.
I'm like, I can do that now. I just need 2 weeks.
Jess, I'm sorry.
About.
No, you're not.
What's turned into little spark notes on what to say to Jess, and we might not get to all of it today. But it's a page.
Look, I appreciate you having notes. I'm going to be winging it, and it's going to sound awful. So here we go.
This isn't a script. This is just me to look down and what do I want to cover?
Bullet point.
Start with a question. Are you okay?
No, but okay.
Yeah.
What was I rambling on about last night? And I was like, I should talk about this tomorrow. And I was just rambling on about something last night that wasn't Zoldan and Zigbar related.
Jackal's hearing voices.
No.
Okay.
This is definitely something else.
I don't know. But Jackal's hearing voices, that's a thing.
Yeah, but Cosmo doesn't know that. No one said anything.
Yep.
No, I've said things.
You've been
I've
very
mentioned it.
sparse about it.
I have. That is true. But I have mentioned it, and I knew at the time, as soon as I opened my mouth, that these guys are gonna take it seriously. That's okay.
These guys are gonna think I'm crazy.
There was an attempt, but it wasn't thorough.
Yep.
I don't recall you ever actually mentioning it.
It was very off the cuff.
It might have been something that you said, and I didn't think it was in character.
It was at the very end of a session, so I think everyone was slowly breaking character.
Gotcha.
Probably.
Because it was something that I was like, I made a note of it, and then I put it in the group chat, hey, this is a thing. Does anyone else have any thoughts on this? And it's completely forgotten about, and it's been bugging me.
To be fair, I would also like to know more about the situation. But I don't.
And
I asked some very specific questions to Dara. I got some specific answers and some big ones.
Are we surprised? No.
It's good on you.
This is your mystery to figure it out, guys.
Very much of a DM of you, babe.
Fair, I know.
How? Wow.
Remember with
yeah, as long as you're perfect.
Remember with Arcanix? Yeah.
I mean, the moral I took away from Arcanix was, don't ask, just do. Plant the seed and let it happen.
No, I told you guys specifically after Arcanix that I was going to have you guys unravel mysteries. And every time that you get, if you solve one and you get most of the facts correct, you guys are going to get bonus experience for it.
Please don't look at me. I don't honestly remember a single fucking
You
thing.
technically have enough clues to figure it out. As of right now, you guys have enough clues to figure it out.
Figure what out?
The voices.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You guys need to converse.
You forget D&D puzzle IQ is 2.
I believe in you.
Average
Yeah, it won't be
IQ is always a 3, so, it's fine.
It won't be a group effort if I don't open up to the group about it. That's fair.
It needs to be a group activity. This is in and out of character right now. You're just continue drinking your water. You're fine.
I'm not even drunk anymore. I'm
You
just
are.
tired as fuck?
Drinky juice, Shelby. Drinky juice.
Wait, did you go in and out of drunk while I was walking my dog?
Yes.
I showered.
I have to see. Oh, wow. Old shit. Letters to Alhu and Cosmo. Assassination attempts. I should be putting all of the newsletters up. How many were there, really?
There was definitely the one about the assassination. I don't remember anything else.
There was that and then the ballroom, which was just funny.
Darman, yeah. Poor Darman.
He got his ass handed to him, man. It's all for...
All for one, yeah.
I don't think I saved it, though. They think you have black hair? Hello?
Good evening.
Yay!
Oh, is that Jess?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jess and Nara are sharing a mic.
Why aren't you guys sharing a mic?
Because he's in his office and I'm already settled on the couch just using my headset.
That's fair.
And Bandit's licking my leg.
Aww.
Ah,
Is he back in the cone of shame?
Well, he was. Saloon just took him out of it.
I took him out because I knew if I sat down, he'd be all over me with the cone just like whacking my face.
Bonk, bonk.
So I'll supervise him so he doesn't lick his pee-pee so he doesn't have to go back into it.
Honestly, what was it, Tyler's story that had him with the going to the vet with the little video that you had? That was so cute. It's because I never look at people's stories, and I just decided to like click on Tyler's because I saw Bandit in there, and I saw that he was going in, and I was like, oh man, poor buddy.
He doesn't know.
I only click on people's stories if I see that there's an animal in it. Otherwise, I don't care, in all honesty. That's why I can't post stories. I don't have anything interesting going on in my life.
Right?
But here's a picture of Kaze.
Cats. Cats are good for stories.
That's about it. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Mr. Cute.
Ours kill insects.
Oh, wow. At least one cat's useful in the world. Unlike this lazy asshole.
Yeah, oh my god, at our old apartment, our building had a roach infestation, but we didn't know because Kiki was murdering any roach and eating it.
Oh my
And like we noticed she'd started getting fat, and then like the landlord was like, we need to spray for roaches. Your building's really infested, and we're like, we haven't seen a single one.
Good job,
So we were really
Kiki.
surprised.
I feel like if Kiki and Kaze ever met, Kiki should definitely teach Kaze how to fucking catch a roach, because this boy is impossible with
Yes.
any sort of bug.
Kiki would probably go, boyfriend.
He'd be like, friend, and I pounce you.
She's really chill and loves like every strange animal.
Aw.
She's beautiful. You never Kiki. Give me some of that fur. Yeah.
Oh, Bandit.
The only other
I
cat
bet.
Kaze met was Eros, and Eros attacked him.
That was fun.
That was funny as hell.
Cassie. You look so cute in your bow tie, sir.
He's like, fuck off.
Stupid bow tie.
I
Okay.
barely had enough room on this page to finish my fucking talk lesson.
Gotta get them notes. So, to recap, what do you all think is going on right now?
Shit's going on. We have a fucking zombie in the party that's not actually a zombie. We're wasting time at a goddamn pyramid, and that ended up getting, like, some sort of dude dead in our party. And then we also have to go catch these dragon eggs, bullshit is happening, and then there's a war that's about to start on the other side of the continent. We gotta get shit done. Come on. There we go.
Bullshit is happening.
Oh, it's Orlando.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Drinky juice, Shelby. Drinky juice.
I didn't know. Words are hard. I didn't realize how much I needed to cause my spark notes until just now.
Is it Cosmo or is it Jess? It's really hard to tell
You
nowadays.
can't have one without the other.
I mean,
You
they
can't
are
have
the
a
same.
board without a cord.
we had Frosia's.
So, who's starting this thing?
I don't know. Where are we starting off? Are we just doing a recap?
Yeah.
I believe I was the last one up. If we're picking up.
Y'all are currently in the bar, dining room with Thaddeus. It's one of those, if you guys want to go in and out of character, that's fine. I can't imagine this all being in character. Because, we're at home chilling and it's hard to stay in character over a computer.
We also don't have facial expressions to help us.
Yeah, so it's easier to stay out of character. Now that everybody's here, if you want to get into angst, that is more than fine. And then if y'all want to follow along, on the handouts and important factors page, one of the pinned notes is the Eberron group notes that Colin has in his drive folder. I have that open and I'm kind of adding to it, unless you guys want to dig in and add stuff too.
Oh, nice.
I was gonna say, did you bring your charger this time?
Yeah, I did bring my charger.
Good.
Yes, I did bring my charger. Let me get the notes out.
So in timely fashion, what are all the bullet points that you guys want to talk about if we're gonna just do this in organized fashion?
I needed a recap episode, so
All right, Colin, that's you. Go ahead and start.
Irish recap.
Do what?
Recap.
Oh!
Where? You just jumped into another dimension.
Just goes into Miss Doubtfire. Like, that's it. That's it.
Where do we start?
After Jackal and Saloon join the party.
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna need some wine for that.
Daddy
That's
leaves the
unreal.
bottle.
Leave the bottle.
Keep the glass for yourself. I'll take the bottle.
Classy, another bottle of sangria.
Please.
Don't you mean glass? No, I said what I said.
With the bottle.
So, we all joined up, and then we were like, oh, fuck, what do we do? And then we went out to, who the fuck knows? No, we found out that Chloe, we talked to our friends, the Chloe and Eric, the blacksmith and the alchemist, and they were saying that they had problems getting their shipments out from all of the Zilspar. So we said, you know what, we have nothing better to do, we're going to go do this bullshit. So we go out there and find Eric on the road, save his life, because, we're good fucking people like that. And then get paid by the 2 gnomes that we saved to take them to Zilspar. And Zilspar is full of fucking gnomes. Everything is only waist high. And we go into the bar and talk to Mildred. There's a lot of people having trouble getting their shit out over to Sharn because the Sahagwins are taking everything, but they leave the food, they only ever take the weapons. So we also talked to old Frank. Well, I say we, it's actually Jackal. He went over and booshed up with the old man and found that he's, sad and very sad tale. We're not going to get. But anyway, we go out. We also talked to the engineer lady, and she says, a bunch of my shite was stolen, and if you can retrieve it, I'll let you keep some of it. So we're like, okay, we're going to go that. So she lends us a foldable hole, which is not as fun as you think, but it might be a lot more useful than you might think. We go out, we find our way to Yarkundral, have to kill a bunch of black, acidy, globular things to open the second door. Finally get in, get attacked by a mimic map, we fight a jewel dog. We get a little stone from his collar. It says protect. Then we find our way down the path, and then fight another big crazy thing. Find a big mural on the wall that's incomplete because it's old and decaying, and it shows the Delkir War, and it has the orcs, druids fighting against Delkir. Bad things. And then at the end of the place, we find a door that has 3 stone slots, and we're like, oh fuck, we have to get the 3 stones because that's the key. So we go back, we find this little shite of a thing, adorable little King Julian Vern. He's fun. We save him from being attacked by fire moths and vines. We fought off some vine trolls, ended up burning his crown, made a new crown for him. He fucking loves us now. Of course, he calls us the Jarnian Freak Giant. That's cute. And then we ran into the big dragon tree that is the Archdruid Grok. No one can say anything bad about her because she is brilliant. And she told us a prophecy. There were 2 that are attempting to break down the barrier between this world and the world below. I think that's, the bitch and her husband. Makes sense. And
I need to edit that.
Said.
There were those. She didn't give a specific number.
Hey. Oh, those.
Yep, there are those.
Wrong, I keep thinking about it.
Yep.
So we then fight a lady in the water, a drowned woman. I became a prince. She kissed me as a frog. And
then you were very, very tired.
Yes. As heavy as the head that wears the crown. We opened the door, and on the other side of the door is a huge courtyard. The Vrock, she was like, hey, don't go into the portal. And we're like, oh, okay, we're not going to go into the portal. Oh, look, there's a big golem. And then we looked around, and Jackal fucked up. We almost went into the portal, not knowing what it was. So, found some stuff. Saloon found a treasure chest. We all looked around. We're like, there's a cliff on one side, there's a big hole on the other, and Jackal went into the hole. Found it was the lair of a black dragon, presumably Vrock's great times 20 grandson. He surreptitiously found something on the floor, and it just kind of, it kicked him on the foot. He said, oh, what is this? It kind of attacked his foot, so it followed him out, and so now he has it. And so that was. But the dragon did not like that, and he woke up. We jumped off the cliff to avoid him, and he started attacking the Sahagwins. Melted the shite out of him with his little acid breath. He just belched on him and killed half of them. And then he started fighting this big dragon turtle with the big kaiju thing. Who knows what was going on there? And then we fight these necromancer people. They had the Emerald Claw. The Emerald Claw. They were there. They had a bunch of shit. And Cosmai went full on rage mode. There was no talking to her. She went slam. She killed the one guy and then made mashed potatoes out of his brain. We killed the other guy.
Did not make.
No, we stopped her before she did, which probably shouldn't have. And then that night we went through all their stuff. We found some burnt up notes. We found all the stolen goods, at least the ones that weren't already taken away on the dragon turtle. And we returned all of it to the village. And in the meantime, we had a wonderful night, just kind of masquerading. Because we returned all of it, because we're good fucking people. Oh, right. And I personally carried all of Chloe's files back to her, hoping that she could teach me how to do a shite, but she can't, that's stupid. I didn't. So, we returned them all. We returned Babs, the Dungeoneer lady, all of her shit. So she lets us keep the hole and a folding boat. So we got a folding hole and a folding boat.
A boat!
On our way we returned to Sharn, and there's fucking ravens everywhere. Heckin' ravens. So, Eric got his shipment back. Chloe got her stuff back.
We learned that Eric was not.
Well, no, Eric, poor bloke. He's a bit simple. He saw 20,000 platinum and said, "Oh yes, that's anything. I don't need to know. I don't need to know where it's going or what it's for. I didn't care because I can live off that for the rest of my fucking life." He was useless as far as giving us information. And then we did talk to Darmond. Darmond, he hired us to be bodyguards for Wild Night. At his big shindig. Security. So, gave us these disguises, which were very flattering.
I love mine.
They were very flattering on all of us.
The one that was called a girl.
Shut up. All of us were very flattering. We did that. Then, in that night, before that, so that was the thing. Darmond was like, "Oh, hey, Jackal, you seem to have this thing that's on your person that for no reason." He's like, "Oh, yeah, no, I don't really want this. If you're interested, if you want to take it off my hands, that suit me very well." So he said, "Oh, I, you know what? I would even pay you for it. I would love to give you a shitload of money for that." And he said, "Well, I don't really need much, just a couple pounds to get, on the bus ride home." But he said, no, I'm going to give you 20,000 gold. He said, "Well, if you insist." So,
That's exactly what happened.
if you insist.
No angry eyes from the DM, no nothing. That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
It's Frosia's synopsis.
So Jackal does the smart thing. He's like, "Oh, well, I don't want to carry this much money around with me." So he goes to the bank and says, "You know what? I just want to make a deposit in a lump sum. I'm just going to put this all away for a rainy day." And that gets the attention of Ryek, the prick. He says, "Oh, you're a big spender. Now I want to be your friend. Oh, you didn't care shite about us when we didn't have money." He's like, "Yes, I know, because I don't care about anyone who doesn't have any money." So now he wants to be all friendly and chummy with us, and we're not buying it. So he kissed your what? Hand. Sure.
Boy.
So
He kissed Alhu's hand
Yeah.
He's
at the party.
half elf or an elf. Full elf.
He's a full elf, Rax a human. But they're both sorcerers.
Do you want to make a half elf?
I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
You don't
Come on, we
know.
get the
But
line.
continue.
Only one way to find out.
Oh god.
Can't
Okay,
find out,
continue.
try it.
Throw wide the gates.
Oh Lord.
I'm so glad you guys don't see my face right now.
How else do half-orcs get made?
I can imagine. So, what happened after? I give me my second. Give me my first.
Oh wait, which one?
These are right here. So,
After that, we went to the
Section
party.
6, Section 7, Section 8. Disappeared, came back, explains message. Message of a dragon, stole dragon, with the dragon stand. I need bullet points. Someone had seppuku. Oh, the enforcer. The enforcer committed seppuku. He fucking killed himself. And so when we went back to the camp to get the goats, the guy who killed himself fucked off. It's very rude, I find, for the dead not to stay dead sometimes.
Sometimes.
Look at Cosmite.
Keep that face.
Damn. So we go back to Sharn. We have a nice little sit down chat in Fatties. We run into some very strange adventures. There was a warforged, a monk, and a girl with swords.
Look vaguely familiar.
Well, no, we did. She didn't look familiar yet.
Oh, true.
And we talked to them. Vion had a little arm wrestling match with the guy.
Oh, is it now popping up?
Yep.
Vion's still here. So Vion had an arm wrestling match with the Warforged and lost. And then Jackal,
Mhm.
as appearing as Grandma Jack Jack, went up and had an arm wrestling and actually played pretty well for an old woman.
You forgot that Grandma Jack Jack was at the bank.
He was an old woman of a man. Oh, he made the deposit as Grandma. See, I actually wasn't here for this part. I just have a big section that says missing notes.
Anyways.
Because I came in late that day.
You're probably too busy laughing.
Yeah.
So he went to arm wrestle, and then afterwards we were like, oh, we worked up a sweat. So we went to the bathhouse.
Fucking bathhouse.
So some of us went to the bathhouse. And we had a wonderful bath.
Yes.
We were very nice. Alhu told us a bit about his family.
Yeah.
And because he got a letter over at Thaddeus, talking about his family and the dire straits that they're in. So we were like, oh, shite, well, we need to go help them out. But on the way back from the bathhouse, as we were all nice, Leslie lost her way, and she led us straight into a murder of crows, which turned out to be feckin' imps. We were set upon, totally ruined the whole bat. Now we're all dungy and musty, and then people are yelling at us to quiet the fuck down because it's 10 o'clock.
I mean, I got you.
Okay, Mr. Magic.
Thank you.
Anyway, after that, we go, like, Leslie goes to her school, we all do some different things. Cosmo looks for some mail. Alku gets mail. Leslie goes to school, talks to some people that we don't know about at the time. And then we're like, oh, hey, Dr. Darmond. That's when they sold the thing. And next session, it was a nippy 52 degrees on around the 25th. Tis a tidbit.
Lovely.
Oh, but it was very nice. There was the harvest celebration that day, so that's where we went down, and then we went over. So we went out to go to whose family?
Arcanics.
Up in the place. I forgot the name of the city.
Arcanics.
I need a refill.
Here.
Whetting of the whistle, you might say. About Alhu's family, because they're in dire straits, and they were like, please help Daddy.
Popular demand.
Which we suddenly realized we're like, oh shite, you're a daddy.
I am a daddy.
You're a father and soon to be granddaddy. So we go up there. Along the way, beyond kind of, he had some other business to attend to, so he put up in Fairhaven. So we went up there, and that's when we're like, his daughter was super pregnant. It looked like someone was a blimp inside of her. No, she was super pregnant when we got there.
I'll do my daddy in more ways than one.
So we decided the next day, we were like, oh, it would be wonderful. Alhu said, oh, I'm feeling the nostalgia and I really want to go to my master's conservatory. So we go to the master's conservatory. But the problem was you couldn't get in the second door. So we had to sneak round back and sneak into his own feckin' conservatory. Which all of us could do easily, except for Alhu.
I normally take the front door, don't have to take the back.
That's what he said?
Thank you.
So we finally get in. Jackal had no problem. He's inside going, where is everybody? And we're like, well, there were some guards, and they were like, oh, no trespassing because trespassing. What are you looking for? You looking for a glass? You mean the one's right in front of your fucking face? What? No, that's right. Anyway. So we go in, and we find the whole place is ransacked. There's dust everywhere. There's footprints, and we're like, oh, well, I can see where the dusty footprints went. And we go into a secret conservatory, which Alhu found a secret note left over. And in decrypting the note, found that there was magic and music. Oh, and Leslie just lit up the room. Because there's magic and music, and she loved it. Oh, that was the one. So anyway, we used that, and ooh, Bacardi.
What is this drink you speak of, Frosia?
Oh, have you never had it, Fatty? 2 rounds of Bacardi.
That'll cost you a platinum, dear.
I like to point out the irony that I'm drinking zombie.
Don't worry, Saloon's got the tab.
Bold of you to assume I have money.
I mean, Frosia never pays for his own drinks. You should know this by now.
Yeah, I know.
So he found a thing, and it was like a little sing-song to me. I had a little piano. Piano, mezzo, forte, piano. And he sang a song, and it was all about colours. So basically, the secret to life is the rainbow, everyone. The secret to life are days. And the room lit up in beautiful. It was actually fucking gorgeous. There were crystals on the ceiling. There was trains of colour coming out of the piano. And it opened a secret door, a secret entrance that no one has ever in before, except for the footprints of the other people that were there before us. And then we found this little ball on a pedestal that we were like, ooh, it's a fucking ball. And then you fucking touched it. Ooh. So that sucked us in like a fucking hoover. And then we're in this weird place that's all sunshine and rainbows and dandelions and marketing and foresight to keep.
And a monorail for some reason. There was a monorail.
There was a monorail going around it. I didn't know, but something told me not to take any pictures because they're gonna sue the fuck out of you. So we find this very strange, lizardy type person there. Clear? No, not a dragonborn.
No.
He was a shifter.
There we
It a thing.
go. Okay.
So it seemed to know a lot about the place. Was there for quite some time and was extremely addled, one might say. He's been hitting the gin a bit too much.
Almost.
So we find there's five different paths. We're like, oh, okay. We go down one path and we get besieged upon by some monsters. We kill them all, but they all just bleed glitter and light and rainbows, and it's kind of just pukingly adorable.
The gaze.
So get through the ball. We fuck. Oh yeah, get through the ball, and then find out that it's just everything that dies in there gets magic imbued into things. So we get a shiny new rod, and we get the new rod. And Alhu had a lovely, touching reunion with his master that we don't know about because he never told us about.
I did. Did I tell you?
Not really. That's very
If you
brief.
did, Jackal didn't believe you.
It's fine. So then we get that, and oh, by the way, in the 2 days that we were gone, it was like 2 weeks, and daughter already gave birth to aberrant child, puking up acid, really hard to breastfeed with that. So, fuck. And then Leslie was like, oh, hey, by the way, I need to go do this shit up in the Arcanix Towers. So we managed to get up in the Arcanix Towers. There's a load of shite going up there. And then Ariana was there, the one that we met in the bar, but this time she had two eyes, and it was very confusing. There were the griffins, Leslie and her griffins, just the fucking griffins. So we go up there, we figure that out, ish. Plant some evidence. She had to plant some evidence, which we said, we are not going to help you do this. You have to do it by yourself. And then we just said, you know what, just let us do it for you because this is taking too long. So basically it was Jackal. Jackal did it for her because he's a softie. It's fine. So that being done, we left and we went back to Sharn, and this is like session 12 by now. The shield job. So that's when we got hired to do the security job for Darmin. So we were there for Darmin. He gave us our disguises. We were like, oh, what a lovely party. Just popping open it with all the big clientele, the upper crusty mates. Until someone, the man was a Sire. Is that pronunciation?
Sire.
Sire? He was the prince or something? Was it the prince
Merrick Sicanus, he was one of the heads of Sire that was still alive.
That he goes up and gives a speech, you know, the clinky of the glass and the speech, and has this horrible speech of like, oh, you know, you people are really bad because you didn't do nothing, and then reveals himself to be Halar, and we're like, fuck. So also at that time, Lilith dropped the dagger into Leslie's hands, and we're like, oh shite. shit hit the fan, and then all of a sudden, wouldn't you know it, there's a giant beholder-type being thing in the middle of the ballroom, killing everybody. So we have to do that. We do manage to save most of the people. I look by the food.
It was definitely the museum and not just like a specific chill out place. It was at Darman's museum.
Aye, it was inside the museum, and we were in like a ballroom inside the museum, and that's all of these guests were locked in, and so we managed to subdue the beholder, but Halar got away, and on our way out, we overheard that we got one cultist. We managed to capture one person, and we heard on the way out that a woman of vague description was also captured. It was the bitch. 'Twas the bitch. So we interrogate the cultist. He doesn't know shite because he's just a fucking wormling. No one tells him anything. And that's when we go to Vash. We're like, hey Vash, oh Vash is asleep. Who sleeps at 12 at night? 3 in the morning. How dare. So we wait for him to show up to work. We're like, hey, because they wouldn't let us in to talk to the girl. So he gets us in. We finally talk to her. She's not very wanting to talk. She has pointed words to say to Jackal. And then we're whisked away. Vash is like, oh, I'm going to go after them. So he goes off to Rote the next day because she's gone. Shit, no, we talked to her before Vash came. Vash came
The morning after.
We talked to her a little bit. Vash came.
Yeah, Vash got a good night's sleep while the rest of us were sitting there camped out.
And you gave a drunkard 2 fucking gold.
Mhm.
Anyway. went, so then he went off to Rote after Lilith to try and be able to talk to her before they execute her because they're out for blood. We go to talk to Darwin and be like, hey, buddy, how's things? And he's like, oh, you guys are so wonderful. Thank you for saving the majority of the people. This is entirely not your fault. And I love you, and I'm going to pay you extra. And we said, no, we don't need it. And he said, okay, I can't afford it anyway. Because all of his assets were seized. So now, Ryek, the bitch at the guy at the bank, he is, well, him and Darman, they're like blood enemies. They hate each other. They're like oil and water. They didn't like each other. So he's all like, oh, I'm going to take all your assets. And he's like, no, I can fix this. If only I go do another thing and sell more artifacts. And it's like, okay, but this is not anyway. So he actually wants us to go do that. He wants us to go find him more things to sell in his museum because the only way to fix problem A is more of A. So we do that. There you go. Darwin, hello. We do find. We run into Kit, by the way, the guy that we saved on the way to the bar. Run into him. He stole some gold from a certain number of all of us, and we tracked him down with his little hoodlum of urchins, as you might say. And then he told us that there's a bunch of imps, essentially, down in the cogs where we believe Halar had gone. We tracked him down into the cogs. He went somewhere below the city. We also learned that, by the way, the guy that Halar was masquerading as was closely related to someone that we talked to. Friend, or recently deceased.
Say
not
again?
believed.
Who?
The guy that Halar was masquerading as, we found out was recently, was friends with somebody. Was friends with Darman.
Merrick's is friends with Darmond. Merrick Secanith is technically the uncle of the king.
Yes, and that's the one that Halar was masquerading as.
Yep.
That I didn't know.
Didn't we recently not hear? No, there was something about a missing prince, or am I mixing up stories?
You're kind of mixing up stories. In the Decaneth house, since the country is gone, the only real structure that the country has is left with the Decaneth house that is still currently in operations and alive. So pretty much there is a Sire North, there's a Sire South, and then there's a Sire West. And each of these kind of little sections are operated by the Caneth houses in Sharn, Fairhaven, and in Carnath. I think they are located within the capital city. I don't know it off the top of my head. And the youngest member, Cramony, I'll add his name to the notes, but he is a teenager, pretty much, who is quote-unquote the head of house because his father died in the blast, so he got it by ascension, pretty much, and Merrick's is his uncle. Pretty much what you got from Darmond is that he's more of a scientist, and he likes to keep to his own work.
Hey, so the thing we don't know is whether he's still alive and Halar was masquerading as him, or if he's dead and Halar was masquerading as him. But Darmin did reveal, but he totally didn't, wink wink, that there may or may not still be a soul forge underneath Sharn.
That is operating.
That is totally not existent and would not be operating at this exact moment. So we're like, oh, he went down to the cubs. And it's full of fucking imps. And Frosia, the sleuth that he is, said, I may have a wee idea about that. And got his best friend, Jack, who said, hey, buddy,
Oh.
do us a favor. Do us a solid. And we together went down into the bar of the Undercurve, where we found up to a Medusa. She was eyeing me like right proper.
You were a snake, to be fair.
I was a snake right up against your heart, right inside of his chest plate. You know, it's a very good place to hide. So while I'm hugging up on his chest, you know, it's a little hairy, by the way. It was pleasant.
I was also a half orc.
He was a half orc, so as long as I didn't mind the smell. So we went down in there and Medusa talked to us, and we saw the wings of a devil. Wings of a devil, and found out that there were some unsavory types, and also found the imps, and Frosia's suspicions were confirmed, and there was someone shamelessly persecuting him for no good reason whatsoever down there. And so he told the group about this shameless person, who will remain nameless. And they went down to confront them the next day. And in that confrontation, some freak accident happened that started up a big pyramid for no reason. Not our fault. Not our fault whatsoever. And oh, my screen is going blank. I haven't touched anything in a while. So, for no fault of our own, the pyramid comes up out of the ground and just in the middle of this bar that's underground, and cuts us off. Cuts Cosmo and Alhu off from Saloon, Jackal, and myself. Right? It was just three of us. Leslie, yeah. Oh, Leslie was right knackered. So she was back at Fatty's. She couldn't hold her liquor. So
She's still drugged up from the imp encounter, right?
oh, in that, and that's what made us say, okay, I know where the fuck this is coming from. Let's go take care of this shit because this is fucking ridiculous. They fucking drugged her. Yeah. Very rude. So we went down there and we uncovered the plot to shamelessly persecute us for no good reason. And in the kerfuffle, Jackal took a poisoned tail dart to the heart.
He got stabbed through the chest by a tail. It was very alien isolation.
Aye, so he lay bleeding out, and
Tone instantly changes.
notice that, did you?
Yeah.
So we managed to kill the devil and find Pops. We find his buddy. He's unable to help, so what good is he? Frosia slits his throat. And we run away with Jackal's unconscious body.
Dead. Dead
Yeah.
body. It wasn't unconscious. It was dead.
Dead.
I had final words.
Rightfully dead.
You know, as a former cleric, there's a lot of scientific debate on when the actual point of death is in a body, so
Necrotic
He may have
damage
just been
makes
unconscious.
it immediately dead. Immediate death. Necrotic damage, death. Everything
Yeah.
about that devil was wrong. We shouldn't have been there, and yes,
were all of his cells dead yet?
probably.
Oh my god.
He is a
Oh.
changeling. Technically, everything's dead every time it changes, and it just renews itself into a new form.
He was a little bit rotting. That's how the
Wait.
dragon found you guys so easily.
I don't know if you guys realized, but that moment was the first time that Frosia ever just killed a person cold blood
Mhm. I
outright.
noticed that. With a metal dagger, too. Aren't druids not supposed to use anything metal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about that.
From
So
limited knowledge, anyway.
we not willing to give in to the moment. We immediately think about how we can fix this, and we're like, Vern. Vern is the only person that we know who can and is willing to resurrect our best friend. So we take Jackal expeditiously out to Vern, who revives him because he's a good cleric who loves life and he loves helping his friends.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Take that pose
I'm
again.
really glad that I can't see your face right now.
Plot thickens.
I think I just lost my only Cosmi point.
If you didn't before, you did now. Welcome to the Zero Club.
There you go. You can update that. Post that updated shit if you
We
so
may have heard
desire.
of Trip Gang, but we're Zero Gang.
It's okay because I still have all the cursed items. So we decided we did that, got him alive, and then we went back to Sharn.
No, the dragon
Cosmi
was
is giving
there.
us really.
No, the dragon was there first.
You missed meeting Oregon.
dirty looks. Vortigern finds us and he says, "Oh, hey, by the way, you stole from me," which was a purely misunderstanding. Because, you know, we would never take from a dragon, let alone Vortigern. We would never fuck over a skull dragon.
I never took anything.
Exactly. We never took nothing that wasn't wanting to be taken.
Oh god.
I'm gonna be that guy, but it asked for it.
So it did.
Bring that up later.
So we went back to Sharon and went back into Thaddeus, and there's this poor sap of a man, an old woman of just growing in himself in our spot. And we're like, "Excuse me, but you seem to have taken our spot.
Okay,
And he's
Sheldon.
like, well, fuck you, I have a lot of shite. And we're like, well, unload, do tell, because we're sitting down because this is our table. So he tells us that he actually owned the building that the big pyramid came out of for no reason. No one knows why that happened. So we said, you know what, because we're such good fucking people, we're willing to help you out of the kindness of our hearts. And we say, we're going to go down into that pyramid, and we're going to help you. And anything we find, we will sell to you, and not because it's fucking cursed. So we find there's a mummy down there, we kill it, and everything was happy. There was a nice little wee slide getting out, and we got some items out of it that we are selling all of.
Except.
Are you staring at Jackal for them? I'm staring at no one, I'm just looking around.
If Jackal's awake at this point, he's just kind of sitting on the.
And then the
Just
next
stairwell.
morning, I came down, I bought a bottle of whiskey, and then I poured a shot for Cosma, I poured a shot for Leslie, and then all of you are here, and then I went into a drunken ramble, and why am I still talking?
I love it. All right.